Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. This venerable stadium will be a wild scene tonight. Two of the oldest rivals in pro football history meeting, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. And the Windy City, Chicago, has been upside down this past week. The Bears are undefeated and off to their best start in 43 years. There he is, big number 72. Thunder and lightning. First and goal to go. Peyton, hangs in behind the refrigerator. And this crowd loves it. They've been writing about this. They stuck him in the backfield a week ago against the 49ers. Many thought out of spite for Bill Walsh's use of Guy McIntyre in the NFL championship game, NFC championship game a year ago when they used Guy McIntyre in the backfield. But look at him.
Look at
350 pounds leading Walter Payton.
He hits George Crumby, number 52, and watch him. Oh.
It took him right out of the stadium.
Tyrone Keys at 6'7", he gets up there and gets a hand on it.
That ball is blocked. Bears playing Bears football. And out of the pile comes Richard Dent. First the refrigerator, now Richard Dent. 31 yards, and Perry is in the offensive backfield for the Bears. He'll be the lead blocker. They give him the football, and Perry. Touchdown. William Perry spikes the football. And this crowd loves it.
The 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl championship team is one of the most celebrated and beloved teams and franchises in league history. Tonight, we bring that team back together at Soldier Field to commemorate the 40th anniversary of their legendary championship. Please welcome your 1985 Super Bowl champion, Chicago Bears.
I think we were just a group of guys that came together at a point in time that really loved the game and really loved each other. We had so much passion for the game and so much pride in what we did.
The temperature, winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. And we'll see as the afternoon progresses what kind of an effect that will have. Butler looking away from Brown to Redden. Floats down at the 5, and Redden brings it out from there to about the 18. Cliff Thrift down to make the tackle. On the Bears. This time is where
Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have their full
direction. Turned away by Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8", and he batted it down.
Ahead 17-0, the stage was set for one final magic moment.
And now the winner that everybody talked about.
I wonder if they
finally arrived.
Maybe they're cheering for the snow.
The best thing about that day was the last fumble.
Third down, 11 yards to go for Dieter Brock and company. Brock back to pass, the rush on for and hammered down. Pick up the ball. Picked up by Wilbur Marshall. Marshall running across the goal. Go. 30, 20. Here's all the way. 15, 5, touchdown. And a goal. Oh, man. What a way to end. Oh. Wilbur Marshall has scored for the Chicago Bears.
I can still see it in slow motion when Wilbur Marshall picks up the ball. The Fridge is leading him down the field, and we all are just running with him.
Fridge ain't losing no ground now. He's right with him.
You can't write a script for this, just the way it all ended.
Not to get theatrical, but I mean, how better can you write a script here for crying out loud?
And the snow starts coming down, and the fans went absolutely crazy.
The Bears were going to their first Super Bowl. Mike Ditka's thoughts turned to Papa Bear George Halas, the man who had hired him to get them there.
And I think right there, the old man was saying, that's the first time since '63.
And finally, a Super Bowl for the Chicago Bears. Walter Payton hugging Virginia and Ed McCaskey, and now linebacker Otis Wilson. Inside the Bear locker room for the owners of the Chicago Bears. She, of course, is a lovely daughter of the late George Halas, the founder, who was the coach of this team the last time they won a championship. And the Fridge, number 72, William Parrott. A team of destiny, according to Bud Grant, before this game started. And the former Minnesota Viking coach knew something there, because today they became the first playoff team in history to record back-to-back shutouts. First it was the Giants, and now it's the Rams. And our post-game activities will continue live from Soldier Field in Chicago.
This was earlier today in the Bear locker room as the Bears packed in preparation to go to New Orleans for the Super Bowl engagement with the Patriots. That's Tyrone Keys getting his gear together. We're just hard by the side of that locker room. We're in the weight room of the Bears.
Atlanta, bring on Dallas. This is for Mike and Papa Bear Halas.
The Bears were about to dominate this game as no previous participant had ever done.
What to do is want it as much as we know we want it.
Throws it deep down the right side. Woody goes out there. Over the shoulder. Oh, Easton looking around. He's hit by Steve McMichael and brought down. Ball popped loose. The Bears say they've got it.
It was controlled chaos.
James is hit. Toss up the football. The Bears have recovered.
So he is in the end zone for a touchdown.
Dick always said you can't flip the switch off and then flip the switch back on. That switch was on.
Touchdown. All right. Rushes on. Nowhere to go. Sack.
It's like a pack of wild dogs. You know, if one of them's mean, they're all going to be mean.
Looks to throw, and down he goes. Richard Dent once again. My goodness.
You see a lot of great teams and great players. They don't make a mark like we do.
Here they come. A jailbreak. Go! He's sacked. Rainbows it deep down the right side. Willie goes out there. To the 50. Side McMahon on a keeper. Leaps the line to the end zone for the touchdown.
That was a classic group. Coaches, Buddy, everybody.
And over the left side he goes.
Complete, and then a fumble.
Line handoff to the Fridge to the end zone. William Perry has scored. Backpedal and second down under pressure. And a motion for a safety in our zone. Mike Ditka being hoisted on the shoulders of his team. The Chicago Bears are world champions of football.
You know, we just took it at them, and we played Bear football today. You know, they tried to come out and do some things and intimidate us, but I think they learned that nobody intimidates the Chicago Bears.
What was going through your mind when the score started mounting?
Yeah, let's party. I was ready to go to Bourbon Street the third quarter, brother.
Don't talk about the spread, but you beat it by 3 times at least with the 46-10 victory.
Well, the thing that Buddy Ryan had expressed to us all week long, that they were exactly the same team that we played the second game of the year. We just let them do all the talking all week long, and we knew we had a good game plan, and we came out and and perform real well.
So those boys are pretty well bruised up now.
Isn't it too bad your dad wasn't here to see this? Well, I think he's been with us the whole season, and I think he's here with us now, and he'll be with us always.
Such triumphs will always rekindle fond memories of yesterday, and of a man who is gone but will never be forgotten. George Halas has not abandoned the Chicago Bears, for his spirit will forever be present in every member of the team he built, coached, and made legendary. The Chicago Bears, a team with a proud past and a promising future.
We had in 1985 are the greatest collection of guys I've ever been around. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and go Bears!
Please welcome wide receiver Brad Anderson, offensive lineman Tom Andrews, wide receiver Brian Baschnagel, offensive guard Kurt Becker, punter Maury Buford, kicker Kevin Butler, linebacker Brian Cabral, tight end Pat Dunsmore, representing defensive back Dave Duerson, please welcome Alicia and Taylor Duerson, safety Gary Fensick, cornerback Jeff Fisher, offensive guard Tom Thayer, offensive tackle Andy Frederick, quarterback Steve Fuller, wide receiver Willie Gold, safety Sean Gale, wide receiver Dennis Gentry, center Jay Hilgenberg, offensive guard Stephon Humphreys, defensive end Tyrone Keys, tight end Mitch Craig, representing Hall of Fame defensive tackle Steve McMichael, please welcome Misty McMichael, wide receiver Ken Marjoram, linebacker Wilbur Marshall, wide receiver Dennis McKinnon, quarterback Jim McMahon, tight end Emery Moorhead, linebacker Jim Morrissey, cornerback Reggie Phillips, linebacker Dan Raines, linebacker Ron Rivera, running back Thomas Sanders, fullback Matt Suey, cornerback Kenneth Taylor, running back Calvin Thomas, linebacker Cliff Thrift, quarterback Mike Tomczak, defensive lineman Henry Waxter, linebacker Otis Wilson, tight end Tim Reitman, representing Hall of Fame running back Walter Payton, please welcome Connie Payton, Hall of Fame linebacker Mike Singletary, Hall of Fame offensive tackle Jimbo Covert, Hall of Fame defensive end Richard Dent, Hall of Fame defensive lineman Dan Hampton. Give it up for your 85 Bears!
The Jordan River stood between the Israelites and their promised land. But the same God who miraculously delivered them from the slavery of Egypt would once again make a way where there was no way. It is time for you to separate yourselves from the things of the world that hold you back from God, Joshua declared to the people of Israel, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing wonders before your eyes. As God had been with Moses when he parted the Red Sea 40 years earlier, the Lord promised he would also be with Joshua. Inspired by this confidence, Joshua explained the plan that God had given him. "Here's what we will do," Joshua announced. "As soon as you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the priests, follow after it." The Ark of the Covenant was important because it held the 2 stone tablets on which God had written his law, which showed his people how to live. It also held the promise of mercy and forgiveness when they failed to do what he commanded. This special golden box was the physical representation of the living God. It held the mystery and promise of a Savior. On this day, the people of God placed all their confidence and trust in him to deliver them, and God led them to the land he promised. When the priests who carried the ark approached the raging waters, they did not hesitate to step in. They were not afraid of what they saw with their eyes, because their focus was on the promise God had made them. With courage and determination, they stepped in. And God performed the most amazing miracle. God held back the waters of the Jordan River. From the moment the priests took the first steps into the troubled waters, they miraculously stopped flowing. Far up the river, at the city of Adam, the water piled high as though it were splashing up against an invisible wall. As planned, the priests stood on dry ground in the middle of the river and waited until all the people of Israel passed by. When the last of them had crossed safely, the priests followed behind. And when they reached the other side, God released the waters back into the river canyon as they had been before. God proved to Israel that there was no sea deep enough to hold them back from his promises. It was important that his people always remember how mighty and powerful their God was, so that they would have the strength and courage to trust him in the future. So God had one representative from each of the 12 tribes of Israel collect stones from the riverbed to memorialize this great event. One by one, Joshua placed each stone in a pile as he acknowledged God's power and goodness. In the future, when their children and their children's children looked at these stones, they would remember how God separated them from a painful past, how he built their faith and trust in his strength, how he brought terror and confusion to their enemies, and most importantly of all, this event held the promise of their final deliverance that would come through Jesus the Messiah.